back. You're watching NBC 5. The Blue Angels are investigating a maneuver that was performed during an air show at Pensacola Beach, Florida. This new video shows one of the planes flying at a low altitude over the beach, kicking up sand and sending beach umbrellas and other objects flying through the air. The Navy is conducting a safety review to determine the circumstances of this incident and verify that all established protocols are followed.
And this morning, we're learning actor Sam Neill died from pneumonia. His family announced that he died on Monday, and he's going to be honored later today with a private family memorial at his New Zealand farm. He's best known for his role as Dr. Alan Grant in the Jurassic Park movies. He'll starred in shows and other movies like Peaky Blinders and The Hunt for Red October. Neill was 78 years old.
Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche faced off with senators during his confirmation hearing, and that brought up a former Chicago mayor.
First, Blanche was grilled on his relationship with President Trump. He defended the Justice Department's release of the Epstein files and tangled with Illinois Senator Dick Durbin on how the survivors have been treated. Here's the thing. Former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot was critiqued by Senator John Kennedy after signing a letter that urged the Senate to reject Blanche's confirmation.
She definitely, her public rhetoric is not something that either myself or this administration supports, which is to always back our law enforcement.
Would you put her even in charge of a ham sandwich?
I don't believe she should be any part of this administration.
Well, the people of Chicago apparently agreed, I think.
Lightfoot told the Sun-Times, quote, "These comments underscore why Blanche is wholly unqualified to hold the title that he does."
Well, this morning, there are still more questions than answers in the death of a teenager during a 4th of July boating trip to an island off the Mississippi coast. And we're now hearing the moments Nolan Wells' friends called emergency dispatchers when their boat began malfunctioning. One of the friends' moms says the group left without Nolan.
We're sinking. Can you all please come?
And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's off the way.
The 18-year-old's body was found 2 days later. It's still unclear whether Nolan was with anyone when he disappeared. His family's attorneys say they will now work with investigators to analyze Nolan's cell phone. His parents say they believe content may have been deleted from the phone. The search to find Chicago's next top cop is underway. Ahead this morning at 6:30, those will be making a decision and when that decision could be made.
Plus, remembering a Chicago business icon, those parents say their final goodbyes today to George Johnson. First, Kai Martin has a look what's down the road.
Now, talking about big events in the city, we've got Grant Park with one closure. Balboa Drive here is blocked for Lollapalooza loading. Jackson will close next Tuesday. And as we take another live look outside at our hazy, smoky skies, there is a scheduled Chicago fire match at Soldier Field tonight at 7:30. It is in question. MLS will be watching the air quality index levels, so just stay alert with that. Rush is playing the UC at 7:30. We're back after this break. Good morning to you on this Thursday. Great to have you with us. I'm Michelle Rutherford.
And I'm Matt Lancaster. We'll follow the most stories that are making headlines at this hour,
including an air quality alert in effect for this morning. Alicia Roman will detail the unhealthy conditions and the connection to wildfire smoke.
And Chicago Public Schools trying to balance its multi-million-dollar budget deficit by laying off hundreds of teachers and paraprofessionals. We're going to tell you what this could mean for your student as we begin the next school year next month.
And the Chicago Bears heading back to high school. We'll let you know where you can see the varsity Bears for free.
All that and more coming in just a minute. But first, we do want to talk about our forecast for today, the temperatures and this air quality alert, Alicia.
And Efron, we were talking about this yesterday. This wall of smoke really moved in through the overnight hours into this morning. You can see across the Midwest where the shades of red, even purple, that's indicating that very unhealthy air, and that has finally shifted across our northern county. So we are seeing that purple shade from McHenry, Lake County, northern Cook County, very unhealthy, even if you do not suffer from upper respiratory issues. So keep that in mind. You want to stay inside for as long as possible, as much as possible throughout the day today. A closer look, Algonquin down through Elgin, Palatine, Glencoe, now pushing in through Evanston, up through Waukegan. That's where we are in that purple shade. Very unhealthy conditions out there with that wall of smoke. We're going to continue to watch this area of wildfire smoke plague us for the rest of the afternoon and into the evening hours, maybe even all the the way till tomorrow morning. Temperature out the door, we're in the 70s, 75 degrees, so most locations in the 70s at this time. Cloudy skies at times, a little bit of hazy sunshine too in through the afternoon. High temperatures today, mid-80s along the lake to low 90s farther inland. We may be dealing with this wildfire smoke all the way through tomorrow morning. Our Lisa Chavarria is live with us this morning to talk about ways to stay safe over the next 24 hours or so, Lisa.
Well, Alicia, you've been saying it, limit your time outdoors. I know we've been doing that even though we're out here. We stay inside of our live truck when we're not doing it. I also have a mask that I put on if I have to be standing out here for a long enough time. But guys, I want to show you what the situation looks like behind us. And you can see we have some sunlight that's now hitting the building, so you can see that. But look at that haze that is just hanging over the city. And, you know, as I was sitting in the live truck, I was listening to Q101. They're located in our station, like in our building, NBC Tower. They said that they've been having listeners calling to complain because they haven't been able to hear their radio signal that clearly. And they did say, at least on the radio a couple of minutes ago, that it's likely because of the smoke and the heat. And that is also impacting them. But you can see this is the reason why. So we're not the only ones experiencing this. I want to show you what other parts of the country look like. So let's start with my colleague, Adam Tuss in Arlington, Virginia.
Yeah, good morning, Lisa. A little bit of that wildfire smoke starting to filter into our area this morning. Let me show you what it looks like around the D.C. region. This is the Air Force Memorial here in Arlington above I-395 here. And you can see we've got kind of a blue cast out here.
Good morning, Lisa. We're giving you a look at the conditions here in New York City. And as people wake up this morning, they're once again waking up to a haze across the sky. It's going to be another dangerous combo today of the extreme heat and unhealthy air quality.
Sticking with New York, this is Niagara Falls. I want you to see what this looks like, and it's pretty much the same situation where you can't really see much because of this haze that is covering a good chunk of our portion of our country, from the Midwest, then out east, and the same goes here in Chicago. And that air quality index, unfortunately, is quite high right now, which means even if you're not among some of the sensitive groups, you need to be very cautious when you have to stay outside for long periods of time. I want to come back out here live if we can, so we can show you what the skyline here in Chicago looks like. This is a live look. We've been out here throughout the course of the morning, and again, what I'm noticing, at least looking closer to maybe Grant Park, around some of the harbors here, I'm seeing street lights that are still on. So that just shows you what the haze is doing, where the lights normally would turn off when we have sunlight. They're not doing that because of what we're experiencing out here this morning with this haze. Now, we did have a chance to speak with a doctor, and they're telling us that these types of air quality conditions are not good for those with asthma, upper respiratory conditions, but frankly, they can impact almost anyone.
Particle pollution is basically the size of 1/10 diameter of one hair on our head, and it comes in through our nose, through our eyes, through our mouth, going directly again to the lungs, causing inflammation of the airways, even in people who do not have any respiratory issues.
That's why you have to take this seriously. So the recommendation Alicia's been telling us, stay indoors. You can also help yourself inside by running an air purifier or HEPA filter. Keep your windows and your doors closed. Back out here live, this is the view along the lakefront. It's pretty incredible to see. It's something that unfortunately has become familiar for us because we had this experience maybe a couple of years ago. It was actually, I think, even hazier at the time. But it's just something that we need to be aware of, guys, something that we need to be safe with. And after I'm done with this, I'm going to throw on a mask myself because I'm starting to feel it a little bit here in my throat. We'll send it back to you.
Yeah, and we don't want you to feel the effects of that smoke there. Lisa, thank you so much. Of course, as we deal with this air quality alert, don't forget to download the free NBC Chicago app. All you have to do is scan that QR code there on the left-hand side of your screen, and you can download it in your app store where you'll get updates on the forecast and air air quality in your area. Let's get over to Kai Martin now for a look at our morning drive.
It's a hazy, smoky commute, and it is a visibility issue for you drivers out there. A live look at the Dan Ryan from 35th. Further south on the Ryan, there is a new crash. That is at 87th as you head out today. Want to focus in on the northwest suburbs, northbound 53 at Algonquin Road, a work zone crash off to the shoulder. Dundee approaching 53 from the east, a crash there too. Let's take a glance outside and check in here with a different view. We'll stick with the northwest suburbs where we have seen a lot of this smoke, especially gathering in the vegetation. Not too bad here and flowing well in Schaumburg. Back over to you.
Alrighty, Kai, thank you. 6:36 is your time right now. And Chicago public school leaders have dropped drastic plans to close the district's massive budget deficit. The district is facing a $9.87 billion budget, and CPS is $9 billion in debt. This budget adds no new debt, but 760 teachers would have to be laid off, along with about 800 paraprofessionals, some of which could be brought back.
We anticipate that the majority of these teachers and ESP education support personnel will be rehired in the district, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure that that happens.
But here's the thing. The Chicago Teachers Union, in a letter to the district, called the budget dead on arrival. CTU says that they want state lawmakers to step in with more funding to prevent drastic cuts.
6:36 this morning, and funeral services began today for the Chicago trailblazer behind several black hair care products, including the iconic Afro Sheen brand. George E. Johnson died earlier this month at 99 years old. A visitation is tonight from 4 to 8 at Leak & Sons Funeral Home on the city's south side. There will be another visitation along with the celebration of life tomorrow.
People gathered in Little Village for a vigil to remember those killed by ICE agents, and that included a 38-year-old man who was shot and killed by agents in Franklin Park during Operation Midway Blitz. Organizers say at least 11 people all across the country have been killed by federal agents since the start of President Trump's second term.
This morning, the dust is still settling at Chicago City Hall after leaders tackled several key issues. Aldermen signed off on $425 million in TIF funds for infrastructure tied to the massive 78 development in the South Loop, including the Chicago Fire's new stadium. Supporters say this will help transform this area. Critics call it another subsidy for developers. The council also passing a ban on city employees using insider knowledge to bet on prediction markets. They also confirmed Dr. Garth Walker as the city's new public health commissioner. He's currently the chief medical officer for Rush Health and was previously the deputy director of the Illinois Department of Public Health during the COVID pandemic. He was also previously the deputy director of the Illinois Department of Public Health during the COVID pandemic.
The Chicago Police Department is now looking for a new leader. Superintendent Larry Snelling, as we've been telling you, wrapped up his last day after announcing his retirement earlier this month. He served more than 30 years with the police department, and so now the search begins for his successor, his replacement. The Community Commission on Public Safety and Accountability has up to 6 months to conduct a nationwide search and then send 3 finalists to Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, who then has 30 days to make his pick. The commission's chair says the qualities they're looking for in the next superintendent will be shaped largely by the feedback that they get from the public.
What are the things that really worked well? What are the things that they want to see continued? And what other opportunities are there that we need to consider for whomever is going to be in the seat?
Well, for now, Department veteran Fred Waller is going to be taking the lead again as interim superintendent.
Well, Elgin is the latest in our area to report elevated lead levels in water. It comes just a day after Aurora reported elevated levels. Elgin city officials are again warning residents, even though they say the results were better than the last time. Every 6 months, the city tests 100 random samples from homes and buildings. Officials say there's no lead in Elgin's water source or its treated drinking water, but it can leach in through corroded lead pipes in older homes and buildings. Free water tests and filters are available for eligible residents. You can dial 311 or call 847-931-6001.
Health officials are urging people to be as careful as possible as a parasite outbreak continues to spread across the United States. Nearly 7,000 confirmed or suspected cases have been reported in 34 states, making it the largest cyclospora outbreak since tracking first started. Now, the CDC is has not confirmed an exact source of this parasite, but Michigan investigators say that lettuce or other salad greens appear to likely be the culprit. Cook County Health says that washing produce can reduce the parasite load, and cooking it, however, is the only way to actually kill it, and there's no way to keep from getting sick once you've consumed it.
Unfortunately, there isn't. And I do want to re-emphasize that while this is an uncomfortable disease, most people do okay with it, and there is treatment for it.
That treatment is called Bactrim. Not everyone can take it, though. In all stages of pregnancy, or if you are allergic, that is who might not be allowed to take it. So if you've got any symptoms of this parasitic infection, you are definitely told and advised to contact your doctor.
It's 6:41 this morning. Cubs fans will be partying tonight like it's 2016. We'll tell you about a special show at the Chicago Theater, reuniting the World Series team and giving you a chance to relive those memories.
And a different kind of Friday Night Lights, the Varsity Bears, where the team is taking training camp on the road. Let you get tickets. But first, Alicia's got to look at today's forecast.
Another high humid day with temperatures in the mid-80s along the lakefront, low 90s farther inland. Smoky, hazy skies will continue for the rest of the day. Not only today, but we will continue to watch hazy, smoky conditions into your Friday, also increasing our chance for showers and storms. Here's your 10-day forecast.
For the early risers, weather will be a factor for the morning. The commuters, let's talk about the Kennedy Road where you're squeezing down to 2 lanes instead of 4. The fans. The great news is you have a public transit option too. From the roads to the rails, Kai has you covered. Plan for your commute with Kai Martin. Weekdays on NBC 5. Traffic on NBC 5 is sponsored in part by 3-Day Blinds. You'll love the treatment.
Welcome back. You're watching NBC 5 Chicago and the 10-year anniversary celebration of the Cubs' 2016 World Series picks back up today.
The Lovable Reunion podcast is going to be live tonight at the Chicago Theater. The evening will reunite some of the team's stars like Anthony Rizzo, Jake Arrieta, and David Ross, just to name a few. They say that they can't wait to reminisce and bring fans back to the moments that made 2016 unforgettable. Hopefully there'll be lots of champagne flowing again.
Well, the Blackhawks' upcoming season starting to take shape. Chicago will begin the season on the road against Vegas on September 29th. This is the 9th consecutive season the Hawks will start the season on the road. The team's home opener will be against the St. Louis Blues on October 6th. The full NHL schedule is set to be announced this afternoon. The Blackhawks' promo schedule will be released in the coming weeks, and single game tickets are set to go on sale later this summer.
And the Bears are taking training camp on the road this summer. The Varsity Bears are going to host a practice at Stevenson High School in suburban Lincolnshire. That is going to be on August 10th. Here's the thing, a limited number of tickets will be available for the practice. That's going to start at 10 o'clock this morning. Yes, they are free, but you do have to register. And a reminder, Bears training camp starts in about 2 weeks. So, right, Alice Hall.
It is 6:45 this morning. Getting back to our top story, the air quality alert across the Chicago area. Taking a look at our skyline or what you can see of it, you can see that haze very clearly across the sky. And Alicia, important to point out that this is not just a concern for people with respiratory conditions, compromised respiratory conditions. This is unhealthy for everyone.
For everyone. And just an update too, and I'll show you that here in a few moments. Our far northern counties have now pushed into that hazardous conditions. So we'll look at that here in just a few moments, but I do want to show you the overall picture because we're not the only ones dealing with this. A lot of the upper Midwest, the upper northern plains, across Canada, Michigan, you are seeing the shade of purple and brown, this maroonish, brownish color. That's that hazardous level. We're seeing that moving in across our counties right now. All the way from Minnesota to the East Coast under air quality alerts because of the wildfire smoke. And I do want to show you kind of a closer look at the air quality around most of our neighborhoods. To our south of Naperville, that includes Will County, Grundy, LaSalle, Kankakee, Newton, and Jasper, all in that yellow. However, when you get a little bit further north of I-80, right around Naperville, we're in that orange which is unhealthy for those sensitive groups. However, noticing Chicago here, we are still in that unhealthy category, very unhealthy, that purple shade for Lake Forest and now Elgin. And then this is where we now are finding that hazardous color. This is that maroon shade. Now we're seeing that number have shifted up to just over 300. So indicating that conditions there in Kenosha as well as Waukegan. This is northern Lake County, southern Kenosha County in that hazardous category right now. That wall of smoke continues to move across our northern counties here in northeast Illinois as well as northwest Indiana, and we'll continue to watch this throughout the day. So we may just stay in that very unhealthy category all day long. This is Friday morning, still seeing that wall of heavy smoke, but the good news is it does look like we'll see it lifting as we head into your Friday afternoon and evening. So at least clearer conditions by Friday night. Today, though, with that smoke included, we also have clouds out there and a chance for an isolated shower or storm, especially with the heating of the day. Not everybody will see it, but will keep that chance for that isolated spotty shower into the afternoon. Highs today, mid-80s across our lakefront areas, low 90s farther inland. Still seeing heat index levels anywhere between 95 and 100 today. Tomorrow, maybe a slightly better chance for scattered showers and storms, especially with the heating of the day. You see right around 4 o'clock, we start to see those scattered activity into the afternoon, diminishing by sunset, and then we may actually do it again as we head into your Saturday. But at least by the weekend, we should start to see that visibility out there improving from the haze and smoke, more sunshine, brighter conditions, and slightly cooler high by Sunday. Alicia, thanks. For large events tonight, we've got an indoor event concert at the UC. That's Rush at 7:30. If the Chicago Fire soccer match was scheduled right now, the air quality levels would cancel it. That's according to MLS, but it is scheduled for 7:30 tonight at Soldier Field. So if you do have tickets, you're going to need to stay on top of that because it could be canceled. Balboa Drive blocked for Lola loading here at the south end of Grant Park. Let's take a look at a map here. Let's take a look outside here. We'll get to the map in a moment. So right now we are seeing extremely hazy conditions in Lincolnshire, I-94, and Half Day Road. As we look at our overall map here, North Central service from Metra, an inbound 20-minute delay for freight train issues, Ogden and Harlem a crash, inbound Ryan at 87th, and police activity at 115th and Prairie. A couple of drive times for you. The inbound Kennedy is 30. It's also 30 on out to O'Hare. In on the Ike is our high drive time, jammed up from Elmhurst through Oak Park. In on the Stevenson, 30 minutes there. In on the Ryan, some normal delays as you come into the Jane Byrne. Some important changes to be aware of in the loop as you plan your travels this upcoming weekend. 3 CTA train stations in the elevated part of the loop will be temporarily shut down. It's part of reconstruction for State and Lake. That starts at 2 a.m. Saturday until 5 a.m. for your Monday morning commute. The stations shut down will be Washington Wabash, Adams and Wabash, and the elevated portion of Clark and Lake with the subway accessible. During these 2 weekends, only the green, brown, and orange line trains will operate via the Wells and Van Buren side branches of the loop elevated tracks, and there will also be impacts to riders on the pink, red, and blue lines. Plus, to drivers, State Street is going to be closed in both directions to vehicle and bus traffic between Randolph and Wacker Drive. That starts Friday at midnight through Monday at 5 in the morning. Pedestrian access, it'll still be there. We'll be right back.
At ComEd, we understand a little help can really make someone's day. That's why we provide financial assistance and billing options to help you pay and manage your electric bill.
For 250 years, Midwesterners have known the best of life happens at home. For 50 years, the experts at Felco have helped homeowners love where they live. Join us and celebrate this historic summer with $50 for your first window, plus no interest for 50 months. Quality American-made windows at a fair price with expert installation and service. It's what we've done for 50 years. Trust the experts. Trust Felco. $50 for your first window and soon. Call now. Call 866 for Felco.
There's nothing like waking up to the shimmer of Lake Michigan just beyond your window. At 850 Lakeshore Drive, life unfolds along the water, nestled beside Chicago's Gold Coast and Streeterville neighborhoods. From thoughtfully curated amenities to timeless architecture, 2-bedroom residences with sweeping...
Back, everyone. You're watching NBC 5 here at 6:53, and we're giving you a live look at the Chicago skyline, which is quite hazy and cloudy this morning. The smoke from the Canadian wildfires is what is leading leading to all of this. We've got this air quality alert across the Chicagoland area. We're going to have much more on that from Alicia Roman and Lisa Chavarri on ways to stay safe coming up in just a little bit. In the meantime, we're talking about this popular suburban outlet mall. It is not dropping its parking charge, even as they appear to be losing some customers.
Fashion outlets of Chicago and Rosemont saying it will continue to charge customers for parking. As we've reported, the mall began the fee back in February. Since then, mall executives met with the mayor of Rosemont, Brad Stevens, and he says since the paid parking policy was enacted, foot traffic has dropped. But mall executives say they're not concerned since new retailers keep moving in. Parking is free for the first hour. After that, you'll be charged depending on how long you stay. Shoppers can get validated if they spend a minimum of $100 at the mall.
One of the culinary industry's top honors could be moving its award show out of Chicago. After more than a decade here, the James Beard Awards are opening up the search for their next home. They have been handed out in Chicago ever since 2015. They are scheduled to stay here through 2028, and Chicago can apply to remain the host city. A final location will be announced early next year.
A popular Mag Mile restaurant is reopening today after a months-long remodel. The Nutella Cafe is set to reopen at 8 this morning with a new menu and some new merchandise. It includes a variety of fan favorites, including those Nutella waffles, crepes, along with Nutella milkshakes, frappes, and tiramisu. Guests can also create your own custom Nutella jar.
And let's talk about what's going on with Illuminati's. They are unveiling a new pizza as sort of a way of welcoming Chicago Fire FC's newest superstar. Polish striker Robert Lewandowski is expected to make his debut with the Fire tonight at Soldier Field. Of course, that depends on air quality, but he has scored about 700 career goals. That is the third highest among active players, just behind Messi and Ronaldo. And it's only fitting that Illuminati's unveils a Polish sausage pizza in his honor. That pizza includes grilled onions, mustard, and sport peppers. It's going to be available in all the way through July 30th, so you got to leave it a month to go check it out. It's delicious.
Yeah. 100 years after serving its first 5-flavor cone on Chicago's South Side, the original Rainbow Cone is marking its centennial with a one-of-a-kind experience. You can check it out at the Museum of Ice Cream starting today. You can step inside a 2-room exhibition featuring historical and interactive items and some playful selfie stops. Of course, samples of the 5-flavor Rainbow Cone will also be available. This pop-up runs through August 3rd.
Did you say free samples?
Free samples.
You know where you can find me.
I don't know if you get all. Do you get all 5 flavors in the free sample?
If not, I'll go back 5 times. We'll be right back, everybody.
That's one way to do it. First the procession.
Right now at Ashley, discover summer steals for every room in your home, starting at just $3.99. Plus, pay no interest for 5 full years. That's this 7-piece power reclining sectional with shades, now only $67 a month. Only at Ashley's summer savings event.
Cut.
When you own a business, you own every indecision. You ready to finalize the launch? New products in the pipeline. Meetings on the move. A launch in the lounge. I'm ready. A window seat for an office. Look at this EBITDA. What? Wrap the R&D, earn some R&R. What if we try something like this?
Good morning, Mr. Holland.
Demand's heating up. Social campaign goes live in 3, 2, 1. The business card that gives back all you put in. Chase Sapphire Reserve for business.
More. It's something people with COPD want. Dupixent makes more possible. It helps adults breathe easier, starting in as little as 2 weeks. That could mean more dances danced. More games played. More classes taken. More to look forward to. It's amazing what can happen when you can do more. Dupixent is an add-on treatment for COPD that is not well controlled and with a specific marker of inflammation. It's not for sudden breathing problems. Dupixent helps block a key source of inflammation, and it's proven to help reduce flare-ups, so you can do more with less COPD. Severe allergic reactions, including skin reactions, can occur. Get help right away for face, mouth, tongue, or throat swelling, wheezing, or trouble breathing. Tell your doctor right away of new or worsening eye problems, like eye pain or vision changes, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection or asthma. Don't change or stop other treatments without talking to your doctor. What will you do with your more? Ask a pulmonologist about Dupixent and COPD.
Right now at Ashley, discover summer steals for every room in your home, starting at just $3.99. Plus, save $100 for every $1,000 you spend. And pay no interest for 5 full years. Only at Ashley's summer savings event.
When we're in a severe weather situation, Brant is sort of like Captain Kirk on the Starship Enterprise, and he takes charge.
But he also brings a sense of calm, assuredness that, hey, we're going to get through this storm, and I'm going to help you along the way.
I believe people trust Brant because he's been doing this for so many years, 35 years.
Not only do the viewers trust him, but so do a lot of people behind the scenes.
Brant Miller, bringing you Chicago's weather for 35 years on NBC 5.
Welcome back. A look here at Oak Street Beach and smoky, hazy skies over DuSable Lakeshore Drive heading in and out of the Gold Coast. As far as traffic alerts right now and impact on your commute, North Central service, 20-minute delay into Union Station. It's for a freight train interference. We're seeing some heavy traffic on the Stevenson. There's also a crash at Ogden and Harlem. The inbound Ike, 35 minutes. Rush the band at the UC tonight, Alicia. And especially across our northern counties, that's where we do have the very unhealthy, hazardous air quality right now. So even if you do not suffer from upper respiratory issues, don't go outside. Try to stay inside for most of the day. Definitely do not do any outdoor activities. We are going to see smoky, hazy conditions through the afternoon. Highs today in the 80s along the lakefront, 90s inland. An isolated shower or storm will be possible this afternoon.
Alicia, thank you. And thank you for joining us this morning at 6. We'll bring you the Today Show up next.
And of course, we've got more news, traffic, and weather on our streaming channel. We'll continue to keep you updated on that air quality alert, which has the city of Chicago or Chicagoland seeing a lot of haze from the Canadian wildfires.